Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to find the amount when the percent and the base are given. So let's say that you have, for example, 4% of 280,000 is what? What I want you to do is look at this. This guy here is the percentage of this amount. This is the guy they call the base is what? You're trying to find the amount. That's the reason why we said that today we're going to find the amount given the percentage and the base. One thing I want you to know is the keyword here of always stands for multiplication. And that keyword in any problem or most of the problems, this keyword here means an equal sign. So when they're saying 4%, so literally 4% of, which means multiplication, this amount, which is 285,000, is, which is the equal sign, what, which you don't know, and that's what you're looking for. So what it means is in order for you to find the amount, 4% of 285,000 is what you're trying to find the amount. All you have to do is to take 4% and multiply it with 285,000. Now the only problem here is that 4% is just not a regular number, it's a percentage. But again, if you remember in our previous videos, when you have 4%, you can change it into a decimal to make the problem easier. And the way to change this into a decimal is to write down the number, take its decimal point and move it 2 times to the left. Now this number doesn't have a decimal point, but like we said before, the decimal point of a number is always to its right. So we're going to take that decimal point and move it 2 times to the left. 1, 2. So 4% technically means 0.04. Again, don't forget to write a leading 0. So most people would like to see that 0 here. So how do we multiply 4%? So that means instead of 4%, it's technically 0.04 times 285,000 equals what? So you're literally going to go on the side and do that multiplication. 0.04. 4 times 0 is 0, 4 times 0 is 0, 4 times 0 is 0, 4 times 5 is 20, carry a 2, 4 times 8 is 32, plus 2 is 34, carry a 3, 4 times 8, 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3 is 11. Again, when you multiply by decimals, all you're interested in is how many numbers you have within the decimal point here. Here, there is no decimal point, and here, there's 2 numbers after the decimal. So that means in total, your final answer should have 2 numbers after the decimal. So 1, 2, and the decimal point should be here. Your final answer is 11,400.00, which means the same thing as 11,000. If you're talking about money, of course, it means the same thing as this. Because zeros after decimals, we just ignore them. So your final answer is this. But most of the problem that we're going to solve, we will not do it in this way here. Because there is another way, and it's more consistent with the other problems that we will do. So let me show you the other way. Let's say that they ask you the same question, and they say 4% of 285,000 is what? Now, one way that people do it, and that's the way that most people like it, is by writing down this equation here. Is over of is equals to percent over 100. Now what it means is, it's just that you're going to fill in, going to replace is by a number, of by a number if you can, percentage by a number if you can, and 100 always stays the same because it's already a number here. So this one always stays the same. Now let's look at this. Is over of is equals to percent over 100. So when I'm reading this problem, your first step, what I always want you to do is to find where the percentage is. Where is the percentage? It's right there. It's obvious. Why? Because of the percentage symbol. They didn't have to tell me that 4 is the percentage because I can see the percentage symbol next to it, so 4%. Now, when you're writing is over of, the is on top, the of is on the bottom, and the percentage is on top here on this side, and the 100 is always here. So the first thing you are always going to write is the 100 because it's always there. Now, 4%. So what is the percentage? The percentage is what? The percentage is 4. So what number do we replace for the percentage? It's 4 because it's 4%. So what number goes instead of the percentage sign? That's 4. Now what do we have left? We have is and of left. Now here's the thing. Look at this. of this is what? So of this number is what? So my of is 285,000 and the is what I don't know. So my of, that's what I replaced by on the bottom, 285,000, and my is, because I said is what, I don't know. I don't know what is. So is what? I don't know is. So I don't know is. I don't know what is. So that's the reason why when you're doing this problem, you're going to replace it by an x, because you don't know what is. So now, if you remember from previous problems, when we were talking about proportion, we can do cross multiply here. That means you're going to multiply this number with this number and this number with that number. That means you're going to do 100 times x, which is just the number and the letter right there next to it, 100x, equals to 4 times 285. So 4 times 285,000. So you're going to go on the side and do 4 times 285,000 and check what it gives you. 4 times 0 is 0, 4 times 0 is 0, 4 times 0 is 0, 4 times 5 is 20, carry a 2, 4 times 8 is 32 plus 2 is 34, carry a 3, 4 times 2 is 8 plus 30 is 11. So it's 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma. So 100x equals to, when we multiply this, we got this number here. Now, remember what we always say, the only way to leave the x by itself, when you see the 100 next to it, because the 100 needs to go, you need to divide both sides by this number that you want to get rid of. Divide. So x is finally by itself, and then try to remember that you're going to be dividing by 100. When you're multiplying by 100, you take the decimal point and you move it 2 times to the right. But when you're dividing by 100, you take the decimal point and you move it 2 times to the left. In this case, we're dividing by 100. Where is the decimal point? When you can't see a decimal point, you always assume it's to the right, all the way to the right of the number. And what are we going to do? When you're dividing by 100, you move the decimal 2 times to the left. And when you're multiplying by 100, you move the decimal 2 times to the right. In this case, we're divided by 100, so we're going to move the decimal 2 times to the left. 1, 2. My final answer is 1, 140, 0.00. So technically, we don't even need these commas here. Therefore, my final answer, any zeros after decimal, we just don't count it. So your final answer is 11,400. So it's just this portion here, because we got rid of this. So that's my final answer. If you remember, that's the same exact answer as the previous way we did it. So that's your final answer here. Now let's look at another example. Let's say that you have, what is 33 1/3% of 80, of 90? So let's say that we're to do this problem the same way, is over of is equals to percent over 100. Now the only problem is the way they gave me the percentage, which is a big problem. They told me that they gave me the percentage as a mixed number, 33 1/3%, which I don't like. And then they say of 90. The first thing, when they give you the percentage as a fraction like this, what I always want you to do is to change that mixed number into an improper fraction, that we call it. By doing what? Remember the rule, by going around, taking the 33 and multiply by the 3 and add your answer to the top. So 33 times 3 is, 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 3 is 9, 99. Then you add 1 to it, you add the top number to it, so plus 1. So 99 plus 1 is 100. So how do we change 33 1/3? We change it into 100 over, we always give the denominator, over 3. That's the first step. But keep in mind that you have a percentage symbol next to it. So what you do is, that fraction here, we didn't use this yet. So we just change this thing into 100 over 3. So we have 100 over 3. Now, because of that percentage symbol, we will multiply this guy by 1 over 100. Just because of that percentage symbol, we'll multiply our fraction by 1 over 100. So what we're saying is 33 1/3 is that fraction here, and the percentage became 1 over 100. Now we can clearly see that we can simplify because we have the same number on top here as with the same number at the bottom. Because 100 goes into 100 once, and 100 goes into 100 once. So we have 1 over 3 times 1 over 1. Multiply top with top, bottom with bottom. So 1 over 3 times 1 over 1. So 1 over times 1 is 1, and 3 times 1 is 3. So now, just realize this. This looks nice now. The 33 1/3% just became this little guy here, 1 over 3. So now, this part here, that's what you're going to do differently. That percent over 100, just because your percentage was looking weird, it was a mixed number, you're going to change it into just 1/3. Forget about the 100 here and forget about the percentage. We already worked out everything here and it came down to one thing, to that 1/3 here. Now the is over of, let's look at this. What is the closest thing to is? That's the word what. I cannot say it's 32 1/3 because 32 1/3 was already for the percentage. We used this for this side. What is the closest thing to what? What is the closest thing to is? It's what. What is always what you don't know that you're going to replace by an x. And what is the closest number to the word of? It's 90. You might say it's 33 1/3%, but we already used it again. So it's 90. That's the reason why the word of here, you're going to replace it by 90. Again, the next step is to do cross multiply. You're going to do this times this, and this times this. So x times 3 is the number itself with the letter right next to it. And then 90 times 1, anything times 1 is itself. So 90 times 1 is 90. Again, remember the next step, to leave the x by itself, we always divide both sides by that number here. So x is finally by itself, and 90 divided by 3, if you go on the side and do it, you'll get 30. So 3 goes into 9 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 take away 9 is 0. Bring down the 0. How many times 3 goes into 0? 3 doesn't. So how many times 3 goes into 0? 0 times. 0 times 3 is 0. 0 take away 0 is 0. So your final answer is 30. So your final answer is 30, and that's it. Thanks for watching, and make sure to practice. Bye.